you need to make sure that when you're applying, you communicate that with the company that they would need to sponsor it. Most of the companies are usually happy to sponsor the visa.
Hey friends, welcome to Chine Coaching. Rob here. This video is going to be all about jobs and internships for internationals in Ireland. Don't miss it. Check it out. My friends, thanks so much for tuning in. We've got Surabhi again, who's going to be talking about her internships as an international student in Ireland and giving some great tips and advice for finding jobs. Surabhi, go ahead and introduce yourself again.
Hi guys, my name is Surabhi and I'm currently an undergraduate student at University College Dublin, Ireland, and I'm from Delhi, India. So I'm currently studying computer science with data science, and I have worked with several companies and startups, so I would love to share my experience here.
Awesome. And don't forget Surabhi's other video. We made one about Ireland, studying abroad there, kind of the pros and cons that you need to consider. So we've got a link for that. It was really fun making that video. We're going to focus on jobs today, which is so important for international students all over the world. And so, Surabhi, you're doing computer science there as an undergrad, but what are good fields to consider for especially good job scope, good job prospects there in Ireland that international students should consider?
So the thing is that in Ireland, there are a lot of companies here. So it's like a mini Silicon Valley. And since there are a lot of companies, there are also a lot of job opportunities. So especially for technology, there are a lot of openings. Software engineering, site reliability engineering, there are a lot of job opportunities for those roles. And keeping aside technology, there are also opportunities for accountants. So we have accountants, we have economics and finance. So the people who study finance, there is a huge scope for those people as well. And then we have a lot of law firms as well over here. So people who are doing law, they can also look for jobs over here. And when it comes to arts, media, and culture, people can go for more of those people-oriented companies, which are like Personio, which is like a recruitment firm. So there is something for everyone. And mainly the emphasis would be on finance and technology.
All right, so the economy is good, lots of jobs. Sounds like Ireland's a great option. Now, what's cool and really important for students is internships. You've had some great internship opportunities. So let's talk about those internships. Feel free to share a little bit about yours and kind of what the recruiters are looking for students who want to get internships to get that work experience, earn some good pocket money. I would love to hear from your experiences about that.
Yeah, I've been very lucky with my internship experiences. They've really taught me a lot. So my very first experience, which was like not really technical, it was more of a social media kind of internship, which was in a small startup in Dogpatch Labs, which is in the city center in Ireland. And basically they were just giving me some small tasks to deal with their data, and I just had to clean the data, process it for them so that it becomes easier for them to give it to clients. So that was a very easy task, and I was balancing that in my second semester with college. So it was a bit difficult because I was just going back and forth from college to work, but it was also very nice because it was my very first internship in Ireland, and it was in my first year, so I was very excited. And that internship was unpaid, but it gave me a lot of experience to understand interview processes here, what recruiters look for, how do they interview, first name culture in Ireland, because I was not used to that. So all those small things which make you more professional when you're working in an environment which is different from yours or what you're used to, because I did an internship in India also, which was completely different from what I learned here. So definitely the place where you're interning matters, because everywhere there's different work ethic, there's different culture, every sector, every industry has a different work ethic. So you get to learn. If you put yourself in different industries, you learn the most. So that was my first internship. And following on, the other internship was with Intel, and that was very good because after that summer internship, I did a 6-month internship recently with them. So I got that internship through the Intel Women in Technology Scholarship, and I applied for it in first year as well, but I didn't get it in first year. I got it in second year, and they told me that I was one of the very different candidates they came across because of my different experiences which I had over my first year. So in my first year, I did this fellowship with the UCD Innovation Academy, over the whole year, in which I was building a virtual reality project. So that was something which stood out in my CV. And I also went to China for a 3-week startup accelerator program. That also stood out because I was actually developing a startup there, which I came up with myself. And I had a very diverse team. So my team was from Portugal, China, Philippines, and the UK. So I had that experience of working with people from different cultures. So when I was having my phone interview for the scholarship with Intel, I highlighted all these experiences, and they were impressed by that, and they thought that I had a very diverse experience, and that is why they selected me as one of those recipients for the scholarship. I had my first internship with Intel, which was very exciting because it was with a research team here in the R&D department. So basically, it's the Advanced Architectures from the Technology Office, and I was working with drones, Raspberry Pis, and flying drones in the office, and it was very fun because usually you wouldn't imagine internships to be like that. It was more like a fun internship in which my manager was also saying that this is fun. This is not actual work, but it was fun to learn that because I did a lot of object detection, image recognition, facial recognition, emotion recognition. So basically, understanding neural networks and how pre-trained networks work, and basically even understanding hardware, because I had never worked with hardware before, and I was working with Raspberry Pis and drones in which we were doing these kind of image recognition. So it was really fun and different experience, and my team was really good. Like, my team was one of the highlights because they were very inclusive, diverse, and they just included me as one of the members of the team right from the first day, which was very good. And there was a lot of young energy in the team. So the team was not like a team of dull engineers. It was like young people working and figuring out things. So that motivated me to continue with Intel for the 6-month internship, in which I learned a lot. Actually, it was actual work, but I learned a lot of different things. Like, I contributed to 2 research papers and for 2 very major projects which were inside the company. One of the projects is actually contributing to a star tracker for space applications. So it was very exciting to work on those projects and understand how real life things work. Even during this COVID time, I had a very productive internship time. And just besides my internship, I got so much time during the last 6 months that I could work on my YouTube channel. I could work on Girl Script Ireland, which was an initiative which we started from scratch. I mean, we had no support. And now we are a family of around 200 people all across the globe. So definitely it was a mix of research, entrepreneurship, and just leadership, and a lot of different things over my past few experiences.
Fantastic. That's super encouraging. Surabhi, there in Ireland, what are the work regulations or work restrictions and opportunities for international students? Kind of while they're studying, and then after graduation, what are those work regulations for an international student in Ireland? Because I have no idea.
Yeah, so while they are studying, they're usually on a stamp 2 visa. So that's the stamp 2 visa, which allows you to work 40 hours a week during your summer. And when you're working, you can work 20 hours a week part-time. So if you want part-time job to pay your rent and pay your personal bills, you can do that. And if you want to go for a full-time job, then you have the summer break to work full-time as a student. But once you graduate, you can work full-time, and your stamp 2 changes to stamp 1, in which you are able to work full-time. So when you are in your undergrad, you get 1 year visa, which is sponsored by the government, and you don't need to worry about that. But after that, the company needs to sponsor your work visa. So you need to make sure that when you're applying, you communicate that with the company that they would need to sponsor it. Most of the companies are usually happy to sponsor the visa. If you feel that after the undergrad you're not ready for the job, you can go for masters. But this is something which is usual. Like, in different countries, there's different regulations of the visas after you graduate and the time period of the government sponsoring your visa. So you need to make sure that you know those time limitations.
Is master's the same or different for after graduation?
For masters, it is 2 years of, you get a 2-year time frame to look for a job. For undergraduate, it's 1. For master, it's 2. After that, the company needs to sponsor the work visa.
Okay, so the student is the stamp 2 visa and the work visa is stamp 1 visa.
Yes, yes.
And undergrad, you get 1 year of work before sponsorship, and graduate, you get 2 years of work before sponsorship.
Yes, yes.
All right, I've got it. Thanks for sharing. That's really helpful. So our chai question for this video is, what kind of job are you looking for? What kind of role, position, or industry? Let us know in the comments. Surabhi, in your last year, what kind of job are you hoping to get after you graduate?
Yeah, so when it comes to job opportunities, I feel that I have a lot of business acumen as well as research and data analytics acumen. So I would like to go for a job in which I can pursue an MBA after 1 or 2 years of work experience. Mm-hmm. So I want to get as much work experience as I can in those 2 years so that I can go and pursue my further studies.
That's great. So kind of our last question to wrap this video up is, we'd love just to hear any key takeaways you've had from your job search process, maybe from interviews, interacting with the recruiters, anything that you've learned while looking for jobs in Ireland that might help other students.
Okay, so I feel that you have to be very specific about what jobs you're applying. And when you are interviewing, you should put yourself forward in terms of your unique experiences, because everybody has unique experiences, but you are unique in your own, like the different things which you have done, so highlight that. Highlight the different things which you did during your undergraduate. Like for me, it was my different conferences and startup accelerator programs which I went to, and different volunteering opportunities and projects I led. So I put that on my resume, and there's also different kinds of resumes for different companies so tailor your resume accordingly for different companies, so that you can understand what recruiters are looking for. But usually over here, the standard resume is in which you say that I did X and I learned Y from them, and Z was the result. So if you put it that way, then you are also showing that you learned some key skills from the job experience. You did something, and those were the final results. Instead of just saying that I worked for XYZ, try and express what you actually did in the company, because that's what recruiters are looking for, I believe. And I think with respect to interviews, just be yourself and know what you're going for, because there were so many times when I got rejected from companies because I didn't know what I was looking for, even though there were so many times when recruiters actually approached me on LinkedIn, but still I just didn't know what I was looking for at that point. So that is very important. Also understand that if you're getting rejected, it's okay, because what is meant for you will come to you. And that's something which is very important to learn from, because in first year I was getting so many rejections, a crazy amount of rejections I got. And I was getting very disheartened because I didn't know what was wrong. But then you just have to give yourself a little bit of time instead of being very harsh on yourself. So that's one thing which you need to understand. That's
some great encouragement. Thanks for sharing that. And Surabhi, thanks so much again. This has been really fun, amazing. I've learned so much. Thanks for telling your stories.
Thank you so much, Rob, for having me here.
Awesome. And don't forget to check out the other video we've made with Surabhi about studying abroad in Ireland and the student experience there. Check out her cool stuff like her projects and her YouTube channel. We're going to have links for those in the description. Give a big thumbs up to say thanks to Surabhi for sharing her story and giving great tips about getting jobs in Ireland. And be sure to connect with us on Chai and Coaching. Subscribe. Social media. We want to help you guys thrive, succeed, get those jobs in your cross-cultural journeys. And thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time at Chai and Coaching. Cheers.